Hello and welcome to the Therapy by Craft YouTube channel. My name is Eunice. I'm the maker behind Therapy by Craft, where I like to talk about yarny things, mostly knitting, mostly socks. Lately though, it's been blankets and other random things. So I don't know. Today it's not going to be about knitting or socks. Well, a little bit of knitting. Not really socks, but it doesn't really matter. It's been about a week since the last time I recorded a podcast episode, and I wanted to come on here and do it again, like earlier this time, because last time there was too much time that went between my episodes, and it was just way too long, and I didn't like that. So there are some things that I'm excited about that I wanted to share with you today. So I figured, hey, even if it's shorter, let's just record now and catch up sooner instead of waiting. You can find me on Instagram and Ravelry as Therapy by Craft. All of the projects that I talk about today will be listed on my Ravelry page. And yeah, I hope you've got a cup of coffee or something warm. Let's get started. So I actually only have one finished project to share with you today, and it's not even knitting and it's not socks. Like, my socks have taken a back burner for sure. So that's been really interesting. The thing that I finished are actually coasters that I crocheted. They're little cactus coasters. Look how cute they are. If it'll focus. Oh, there we go. There's 4 of them in this set, and I will show them one by one. This is a pattern by the Caffeinated Snail. It's called Cactus Coaster. It is a free pattern on Ravelry. I used various worsted weight cotton yarns. Gosh, what hook did I use? I think I used, I have this basket of like cotton yarns that I was using. I used a US 7 or 4.5 millimeter hook for all of these. This is the 3rd coaster. They're kind of holy. This one you can definitely tell, like, the gauge is a little, I don't love that. And then this is the 4th one. It is a very easy to follow pattern. It's just based on her blog. And as I was making this, I was thinking that these would actually make cute little ghosts too. Like if you removed the flower and you had just this little shape, I feel like it'd make cute little ghosts. But anywho, this is definitely a pattern that you can sit and crank out maybe half a dozen in one day. It was so fast. I think the body of it is like 4 or 5 rounds. That's it. And then the flower is a 2-round flower. It's so fast. But you want to guess how long it took me to make these? I started these on August 26th and I finished them yesterday, which was November 28th. No, it wasn't. Today is not the 29th. Today's the 30th. So I finished these 2 days ago, and then I like blocked them because I wanted the cotton to soften up a little bit. And so yeah, this is my little set, which I actually really adore. I think they're so stinking cute. Someone asked me to make these coasters for them, and I was like, of course, absolutely, I will make these for you. And did it need to take over a month to make them? Absolutely not. I could have done all of this in one day. And actually, I think I did most of these in one sitting. Like, I watched one 45-minute episode of something and I did all of the cactus bodies. But then I got stuck on picking it back up again to do the flowers. And the thing that really messed me up was trying to figure out what color flower to do on each of the cacti, or the cactus. What's singular? Cactus, on each of the cactus. And I couldn't figure out what color I wanted to do. And that's the thing that tripped me up. Not crazy, for like a month. That's the thing. My brain is so weird like that. Are any of you guys like that? Like one little hiccup and it goes in timeout for an unreasonable amount of time? I don't know. Anyway, so some stats about this. I don't know what the entire cactus weighs because I didn't measure that. I didn't weigh it, but the body of the cactus took about 9 grams of worsted weight yarn. So some of this I think is like loops and threads. Some of this is like I don't know. I just pulled scraps, cotton scraps from my stash, and it took about 9 grams to make one cactus body, and then the other ones are really just scraps. Oh, let me show you the back, the hideous back of the coaster. No one's really gonna see that though, because it's gonna be laying flat like this, and just like cups are gonna go on top of it. The back is pretty darn ugly, and I am not gonna shy away from showing it to y'all, because who am I really trying to impress here? I don't care, who cares? But yeah, that's the back. And that's that. That's my one finished project for this episode. Now, I have other things that I've been working on. There's two of the blankets that I was working on last time. I want to make sure that I show you guys because I have been working pretty diligently on them. And then I also want to talk to you guys about last minute gift makes, because I'm so curious if any of you guys are making things last minute. Tomorrow is December 1st is tomorrow. And I don't know, I just have this energy like, it's not like a frantic, panicked, I need to make all of these gifts, Christmas is coming so soon, oh my gosh, kind of energy. It's like a, hey, it's like a Santa's elf kind of energy where I just want to like work on little things and finish them and experience the joy of having a small, cute, finished object that I can give away to someone else. I just want to make a bunch of things, and I don't really have a recipient in mind necessarily. I don't know. I just want to make small stuff. And so anyway, I can talk about that later. But blankets, before we do that, blankets. So thank you all so much for your love on my mini advent, not mini advent, but like my 24 minis advent, the way that I'm using it from last year. Here is where I'm at with my blanket so far. I have added, I'm past the halfway mark. And I'm on my 4th row. Ta-da! And there's not too much to say beyond what I've already said about this blanket. So if you want to know the origin story of this blanket, then you can go and see my last episode. But I am doing 5 rounds of the main color for each of the squares, and then I'm using about 16 to 17 grams of the 20 gram mini to do the, I guess, the final round 6 to 13 is what I'm doing. And I did that mini because that's how many rounds I was able to get with the 20 gram mini. And then I'm joining them as I go. I'm using a G hook or a 4mm hook for this project, and it's a fingering weight project. I'm holding my yarn single, I'm not holding it double or anything like that, and so the drape is really, really nice, and I for sure know that once I wash it, it's going to be even nicer, so that's great. Every time I am finished with a square, so this is the last square that I joined, this is the color that's left, it's enough yarn to where I can make another 5 round granny square to add to my other granny square blanket that I shared last time. So I can add it to here. So once I'm done with this, I can make a little 5 gram or a 5 round granny square to put into my other granny square blanket. And some of the balls are actually not enough. I think I might need to, I might not be able to make a full 5 round granny square with the leftovers. So if I do run out of yarn, what I'm planning to do is to use the main color to finish out that square and then add it to the blanket. And I'm going to keep all 24 of those colors together so that I can see in my blanket that it was part of an advent, and I am very, very happy with that. Because I think I'll be able to pretty much use all 20 grams because about 16 grams, 16, 17 grams is used for this blanket. And I only need about 3.5 grams to make a 5-round granny square to put into the other one. The other thing I wanted to mention is that I have found that this is delightfully portable. Like it's way more portable than I thought it was going to be. Initially, I thought I needed to carry around my minis and this so that the last round I could just join it. But I think it was like one of the days last week or something, I was working on this project, but I didn't have this with me. And what I ended up doing was I worked my blanket up until the very last round. Not the blanket, I worked my square up until the very last round that I needed to complete. And now I'm on my 13th, I don't know if you can tell, but I'm on my 13th round right here. And this is ready to be joined onto the blanket. So I just stopped since I didn't have the blanket with me. And then I started a new square. So that was a very pleasant surprise. It was an accidental discovery, but I was like, hey, this is great. I can still work on, as long as I have the main color, as long as I have my minis, I can still work on this project even if I didn't have the big old blanket with me. And now that it's getting fairly larger, I think that it's a pretty nice discovery. Because then I could just carry my minis with me, and then I can come home at the end of the day and just do that final 13th round to join to the blanket, and I don't have to like haul this around with me. I'm very, very excited about it. For those of you guys who don't know, this pattern doesn't really have a name. I don't know, came up with like the design by myself, but it is basically just granny squares that you're joining together as you go. I will link the, no, I won't because it's different. But the advent that I'm using is the final installment of the Harry Potter advent from Yarn Cafe Creations and Dragon Horde Yarns. It's from their 2024 advent. I think it was Deathly Hallows Part 2. It was the very last advent that they were doing for the Harry Potter series. I hadn't gotten any of the other ones, and I wanted to just have at least one. And that was my last chance. So that's what I did. And yeah, it's going great so far. And I'm very excited to get to the point where I can put on a border. If you guys wanted to do this for an advent, I really think it's totally doable. You can totally do 1 square a day. I have been able to do maybe 2 or 3 squares a day. So you can absolutely do 1. And by the 25th or by the 24th, I guess, you'd be able to have all of that, and then you'd have the last week or so of December to do your border, and basically by New Year's you could be cuddled up in a new blanket. So yeah, if you're still looking for ideas, that's one that you could totally use. If you don't want to use or don't want to open up your 100-gram your 100-gram skein to start these squares, you could just supplement with a neutral, I think. You need to supplement with at least 1 skein, but you can do maybe your favorite color or just whatever color you want, and then do that for the middle squares, and then use the Christmas Day skein for the border around the entire thing. I think that's absolutely doable. If you want to do something like that, then again, you only need about 4 grams for the center, 4 times 24. Yeah, I guess it would be about 100 grams actually. A little less, maybe 80 grams should be enough. Is that right? I can't do math, so I don't really know. But yeah, that's an idea for you. The next blanket I want to share is my Kiss blanket. It is my stripy one. The last time I showed this blanket, I was here. This is where my little stitch marker is. This is how far I had gotten on this blanket. And I have done this much more. So where you see that marker is where I was just maybe a week ago. Now I'll go it sideways so you can see. This is where I'm at now. It's so squishy and warm. It's so great to work on. I have about 5 more black. Black is the color that I introduced. So after the light blue, this is like a dark gray, and then after the dark gray, I'm using a black. And I have about 5 stripes of the black remaining before I do my very final section. And my final section will be black and red, which is from the beginning section here. I don't know what the length is, the true length of this blanket is right now, but I can tell you that it probably is going to be able to be as tall as me. I'm 5'3", and I think it's gonna at least be as tall as me once I wash and block it. So I mentioned last time, this is made with 100% acrylic yarn. It is, I'm using I Love This Yarn by Hobby Lobby, because that's the yarn that I had, but you can actually, like a comparable yarn would be, I think like Loops and Threads Impeccable from Michaels. It's a 100% acrylic yarn, like a premium acrylic yarn. Worsted weight in the US, I think they say like size 4 or something like that, category 4 yarn. I am using a US 8 or 5mm needle for this project. I cast on 180 stitches to start this project, actually. I don't think I shared that last time. And this is how wide it is. It's actually not its true width because it's held on my cord a little, it's like prevented from my cord. So this is maybe more of a true length. It's not my full wingspan, but it's a very good size for one person to use. I'm using 7 different colors, and now that I've kind of like worked on this blanket, I don't really know if I don't know how much I love the placement of the colors here in this blanket. So what I'm doing, for those of you guys who are maybe tuning in for the first time, is I am doing, I'm alternating colors every stripe. So I do one right side and back again on the wrong side to make a stripe. I'm doing this in garter stitch. So I knit one way, knit back the other way, and then I pick up the next color, and then I do it again, pick up, do it again, pick up, do it again. And I'm basically doing like 2 round stripes or 1 garter bump stripes to get this effect. In terms of color placement, what I'm doing is I'm kind of overlapping the colors. So I have color A worked with color B, then I drop color A and I do color B with color C, drop color B, C, D, and then so on and so forth. And so what that means is that my first color isn't just touching the first color, but it's also touching the third color, right? And the second color is being blended in between. My second color isn't just touching the third color, it's also touching the fourth color. And so that's why this color placement, I realized that it needs to be a little bit more thought out. I can't just think about, if I were to do this again, right? You can't just think about what colors are next to the color when I like lay out my colors. I also have to think about like 2 colors over, because that's the color it's gonna touch. So this red color is color number 1, and this maroon was color number 2, but then this yellow was color number 3, and that maroon and that red is also touching, right? And so on and so forth, where I have this maroon and then this yellow and blue. I don't know if I'm explaining this correctly, but basically the colors are touching a lot more than I thought they would be. And so I feel like I could have done a better job of color placement, but I didn't realize that. And now I know for next time. I'm still happy with how it's looking, but I feel like I could have been happier if I thought about the color placement a little bit more. So anyway, this is my Kiss blanket. KISS, or Keep It Simple Stripes. It is by, I never remember her name, but she is a YouTuber. Crochet Objet is her handle. I'll link her down below so you can take a look. And it is a pattern that you can find as on her blog, but you can also purchase a pattern from her through her website or Ravelry. I forget which, but anyway, it's a beautiful blanket. I would definitely recommend it. It's the only blanket that I've knit where I am knitting the entire width of the blanket, and it has continued to the very end to capture my interest. I am not one who likes to knit from end to end. I just think it's really, really boring, and it does not keep me engaged in the project for long. But because I'm changing colors every 2 rounds, because I'm introducing a new color every 15 stripes, and there's only 7 sections really to this blanket, it just keeps me motivated to work on this blanket. I have no doubt that I'm going to be done with this by the next time we see each other. So this is the last time it's gonna be a whip, y'all. So be excited with me. Okay. After that, okay, so that's it for my blankets. The last thing that I want to share and the last thing I want to really talk about are gift making. Are any of you guys doing like random gift, like last minute gift stuff this year? So I had a hankering last night to cast on a bow. I don't know why I wanted to do that, but I just thought, it'd be really cute to make a bow. And I knew that Petite Knit had a pattern for a bow. And so I looked it up. It is called the December Bow by Petite Knit. And I cast it on because why not? Here it is so far. Here's where I'm at. Oh, there we go. It is it actually reminds me a little bit of the Sophie scarf, except I actually think it's a lot easier because the increases and the process of knitting it just doesn't take up a lot of mental energy at all. So I cast this on maybe at like 10 o'clock last night and I worked on it for about an hour, and this is how much I got. I'm very pleased with it, and I actually only made 1 modification, but I'll tell you about that in just a second. So the yarn that I'm using is this one here. This is a yarn from Arcane Fiberworks called Man on the Moon. There you go. I only had about 30 grams of this left, and so I didn't want to make socks with it, but I think with this pattern you only need about 28 grams of a sport weight yarn held with a mohair, and this is a fingering weight yarn, so I think it would be fine. This is the mohair that I'm using. It's from Hobie Yarns. I don't remember what the colorway is, but I don't have, I have a whole ball, and then I think I have, I don't know how many grams this is, but I'm holding that together to create this beautiful little fuzzy halo. And I realized when I was looking through my stash that I actually have quite a bit of mohair. I don't like using mohair because it's never cold enough in SoCal to actually warrant mohair in my sweaters. It's really, even on the coldest days, I feel like I get pretty warm pretty fast. So, and also I don't really knit garments anymore, so there's also that. But I want to use it. I also think that halo effect is really pretty. But when it comes to gift knits, I don't really want to put it in a scarf because the Stay Toasty scarf, for example, I do want to and am planning to make more as gifts this month. But I don't want to put mohair in a scarf because I don't know if people who are receiving that gift is going to be comfortable with mohair. And like I said, I'm in a climate where we don't really need that extra warmth. So I think this bow might be a really good solution for that. Like I said, 30 grams of a fingering weight yarn held with about 10 grams of the mohair is plenty, I think. I'm basing that off of her pattern. and it is using a US 4 or a 3.5 millimeter needle. And I have a feeling that if I really wanted to, I could crank these out. I can crank one out in maybe a day. And it might not even require me to like really sit and focus on it all day, like a pair of socks would. I couldn't knit a pair of socks in a day. I don't even know why I said that, but like one sock, maybe I could crank it out in a day, but it would really require a lot of focus. This, I feel like I could pick it up, put it down, pick it up, put it down within a span of 24 hours. And I have a feeling I could do it. So I'm already thinking like I want to make a peekaboo for Sam, like a pink one for Sam. I want to make a couple of other colors. I, again, don't know exactly who the recipients are going to be, but I'm just really itching to make them. I ordered a few barrettes, like silver, you know, hair barrette things that I can like sew onto this at the end so that it can be like in your hair all cute. So that's really exciting. I haven't purchased this pattern yet, but another pattern that's really caught my eye is, I think it's by Cosmouty, and I think it's called the Mug Rug. I saw it on her Instagram recently, and it's just like scrappy. It's like a scrappy coaster. It looks like a mug, and it uses, I think, like each row is a different color. But it just looks really, really cool and really, really cute. I'll put a picture up here so that you can see what I'm looking at. You can have a visual representation of what I'm talking about. But that's also really caught my eye. I feel like I could, on an afternoon, have hot coffee or some tea, sit in front of my TV, crank a couple of them out and maybe give them to coworkers or something like that. But that's also really piqued my interest. And I'm also curious from you guys, what kinds of things are you making this season that you're not really stressing over, little like potato chippy projects that have been really giving you joy? Please give me some ideas. Please comment below, let me know, because I'm so curious. I'm so curious, and I'm so, I don't know, I have all this like making energy, but not for my usual things. Not for my usual things. So yeah, anyway, it was really good to catch up with you guys again. I will see you guys next time. And until then, happy making, y'all. Bye.
Baby, you give me eyes.